Let's take a look at working with field sets in our form. I'm in eftemplate.html, which contains our form. Let's just take a quick look at it. And you can see we have our horizontal form with the labels appearing on the left side, and we're using the grid. So let's just break this into a few different field sets. A field set is just a way of grouping controls together. It's a standard HTML element, and it goes along with a legend. A legend is what gives the field set a name. So we have our field set and our ending field set tag and our legend, basic information. Let's take a look. And here's our section, basic information. Let's go through and do that for the perks and the payroll type. So I added a field set with a legend of perks, and I closed the field set. And I added another one for payroll type, and I closed it. Let's take a look at this. And it looks good. There are a few problems. We can take out our labels right here for perks and payroll type. Also, we have our submit button grouped in with the payroll type. Let's fix that too. So I'll take out the perks span right here, and I'll take out the payroll type span. And if we look at our input, I'll grab that, and I'll just put that below the last field set. So we fixed the headings here. The form's looking good. We just need to indent the submit button. We can do that by adding another class. We'll add small, we'll add column, small, offset, 3. So where up here we had a div, a simpler way to do it would be just to add a column small offset 3. And that'll offset this entire input field. And now we got our submit button lined up with our controls. The form looks good. Everything's lined up. We have our field sets and the labels for the legend. And it is responsive. If we shrink it down to the small size, we can see that everything's still looking good, lined up horizontally. Our field set legend shows in a larger font, which makes it look good. Now there's a slight problem in Internet Explorer. Like you saw how I just resized the form larger and the submit button isn't aligned. But that's just a rendering problem. If you put the mouse over it, it's fine. It just jumped back into place automatically. To see that again, I'll close it and open it up again and mouse over it. And let's just see if this happens in other browsers. I'll try it with Chrome. Everything looks good on Chrome so far. I shrink it down, everything looks good at the small screen size, and I open it up, and the alignment's fine. So it looks like some kind of rendering problem in Internet Explorer. And if it's really a problem, you might be able to get by with dividing the button section up into divs, like we did above. So I fixed this by taking out all of the offset information out of the class for the input, and I wrapped the input in a div. And that just seems to work best in all browsers. So the submit button is going to be placed in a div that's offset by 3 grid columns, and the div itself is going to be 9 grid columns wide. So now I'll run it. And our submit lines up fine. And as we shrink it, it's still good. As we enlarge it, it's fine again. So you just want to be careful when you're using the grid classes directly inside of an input tag. It just seems to work better if you wrap the input in a div.